In order to determine the enrichment capabilities of various soil sources, we need to first extract the nutrients from those soils. This presentation will provide you with the procedure necessary for such a soil nutrient extraction. Each group should make sure they have all of the materials needed for the extraction. These materials include 2 plastic cups, a coffee filter, a mesh sieve, 1 50 milliliter beaker, 1 250 or 450 milliliter beaker, 1 40 milliliter test tube, 100 milliliters of distilled water, and your soil sample. Lay your mesh sieve over one of your plastic cups, as shown here. Begin to sieve your soil sample through the mesh sieve. Add soil slowly to avoid spilling the sample. If your sample is particularly moist, you might have to push the soil through the sieve with your hands. If you do this, make sure not to force any of the large debris into the cup. Remove the mesh sieve and discard any large debris. You might have to discard large debris multiple times while you are sieving your sample, depending on how much large debris it contains. Simply remove the mesh and discard the debris in a container specified by your instructor. The resulting soil should be fairly uniform, as shown here. Carefully pour your sieved soil into your 50 milliliter beaker. Pour the sample slowly to avoid spilling it. You might want to guide the soil into the beaker using your hands or a scoop. Firmly pack the soil with your fingers until you have 50 milliliters of packed sample. Add the 50 milliliters of packed soil to your second plastic cup. Measure and add 100 milliliters of distilled water to the cup. After adding the distilled water to the cup, stir the water-soil mixture continuously for 3 minutes, making sure that all the soil on the bottom of the cup is well mixed. After mixing, the extraction will be set aside for 24 hours. Label your cup so you know which one is yours and leave it to set where your instructor has designated. After your sample has extracted for 24 hours, the mixture needs to be clarified. To begin this process, start by placing your coffee filter inside a 250 or 450 milliliter beaker. Pick up your extract from where you left it. Notice that the extract has a clear water section on the surface and soil on the bottom. Make sure not to agitate this layer as much as possible when you retrieve your sample. Pour the clear liquid off the top of your sample through the coffee filter. You may want to have one of your team members pour while another one holds the coffee filter in place. When the liquid has been poured off, the bottom of the cup should still have most of the soil in it. Carefully remove your coffee filter from the beaker. Make sure you let all of the liquid filter out before discarding the filter. Pour your filtered extract into your 40 milliliter test tube. The test tube will be set aside for 4 to 5 days, which will allow any fine particles to fall out of solution that were not removed by the coffee filter. This will further clarify the extraction for later use. After 4 to 5 days, your sample will look clear on the top with fine soil particles on the bottom. Be careful not to agitate the soil particles when you use your extract in your next experiment.